Welcome to Wild. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser. Let's talk accountability today. Accountability is such a strange word because I think a lot of people can shy away from it versus lean into it versus both giving accountability and then having it, right? Having accountability or allowing somebody to hold you accountable. There are so many pathways that I could go down when you really think about accountability. As a leader over the years in business, I have learned that it is the secret sauce to so many things. And what's funny is that it's been able to really help me metaphorically recognize that my children and raising 5 of them, that accountability has been a massive secret sauce, and that my childhood and growing up and being raised by my mom and dad and everything there, accountability was part of that secret sauce. My marriage, and I'm knocking on 27 years married and almost 30 with my husband, and accountability is a secret sauce. And so what is so magical about accountability, and why is it also so hard? Here's what I will tell you. I have learned that real love in general does not just like cheer people on. It helps them grow, right? It helps them be a better version of themselves. It calls them to a higher calling, if you will, but that requires accountability. It tells the truth when it is easier to stay silent. I say all the time, I read a book years ago, I think it was by Glennon Doyle, and it was called Untamed. And one of the chapters that she wrote was around just uncomfortable truths are so much more powerful than comfortable or silent lies. And I think accountability is wrapped all over that when you think about it. It believes in somebody enough to not let them stay stuck or to play small. It holds standards when excuses can feel so much more comfortable than results. And accountability says things like, I care too much to let you play small. I respect your potential more than your comfort right now. I'm not going to let you hole up or go down this path for a long time, making terrible choices only later to have heartache that this is the consequence when I saw that consequence 2 years ago, but didn't want to be uncomfortable by saying something. And if you really think about things like that, what kind of love is that? As a leader, I've lost employees over the years because I have lacked accountability for them and with them, which says, really, I'm indifferent and I don't really care what happens here, versus being a tougher leader and saying, hey, I care so much that I'm going to tell you, do better, be better in that circumstance. Let's train you to a higher level. I know what you're capable of. I'm not going to let you off the hook with the oopsie daisies or the I don't knows or the that's hard. I'm going to push you and you're going to grow because of it. And that is across the board in so many areas of our life, because when you want results for people, not just reasons, when you are willing to have those hard conversations because you say your growth matters to me, that's true accountability. Critique sometimes can get mixed in with accountability, and they're not the same thing. Critique might be, hey, if I had to give you a couple things to work on, here's what I would work on. Accountability would say, I love you enough to tell you that you should be doing better in these places. I will also, yes, accommodate and train and do all of those things. And then I love you so much that I'm going to recognize what happened on the other side of this. I cared enough about your growth that I'm going to acknowledge that, hey, you've done a great job here, or, hey, we're still struggling. Let's try another angle, but we're certainly not going to quit. We're not going to let anybody off the hook. And when you're supporting somebody without accountability, you are enabling them. You're enabling them. And this is I think this is probably one of the biggest misses from not a therapist, don't have a degree in this, but I feel like I have a pretty darn good degree by raising 5 children and now seeing them into young adulthood, marriages, and grandchildren. Support without accountability enabling is so incredibly true, is so incredibly true. And it's probably the truest in parenting, but leadership in a way is parenting, right? It's saying, I care enough to be selfless and be engaged and to be focused and impactful in somebody's life and in their growth. But you can't do all of those things just with love and encouragement and belief and coddling, if you will. You have to add accountability or it's all broken. And it just creates dysfunction, if you will. And so something that I read the other day was accountability without love alienates. Well, yeah, because if you're only holding somebody accountable full time and you're not then praising them or telling them why you're holding them, why you're pushing them so hard, you'll watch professional athletes, thank their coach or thank their teammate who pushed them so hard. And I guarantee you they wouldn't thank them if they also didn't know that that push came from a space where they were loved. Not just the coach wanting to win, where they were loved, where they were cared about in their future, right? Like not only who they are, maybe on or off the court or the field, but who they become as a result of everything they learned from themselves and others during the process of having high accountability, right? Growing as a player, those kind of things. So accountability without love will alienate. Support without accountability enables. So what does accountability with love do? Accountability with love transforms. And isn't that what we're all trying to do all of the time? And so people, the truth is, they might not always appreciate accountability in the moment. In fact, as I've aged and probably getting, I kind of joke sometimes. I'm like, oh man, you see those men or women who get a little bit older and all of a sudden they can't keep their mouth shut. They've got something to say about everything. And I giggle at myself sometimes where I'm like, is that becoming me? But the truth is, I really struggle to not coach back or hold somebody accountable to the words they just said or how they are acting. And I don't think that people always probably appreciate it in the moment, but I think that over time, they absolutely recognize it as one of the purest forms of belief in them, of love, of commitment, of saying, I expect this much from you because I know what you're capable of and you can be better. And if none of us ever saw things in one another, think of how empty our worlds would be and how much lack of growth, how much we would lack growth is a better way to say it in general. I'll end with this. If you are shying away from holding people or yourself accountable or allowing people to hold you accountable, I would start thanking anybody and everybody who held you accountable in a way that was coupled with love. I love that you cared about me enough to have that conversation, even if it was hard. Because at the end of the day, when you can couple the two and they transform, it helps you not only become a better version of yourself, but it helps you become who you are actually meant to be. And as leaders, especially in the industry, in everything that we're doing, that's what we're trying to create in our impact. If this was helpful, I hope you share it. We will see you on the next Wild.